Okay, let's get going on our very first layout. We have just a couple prep things to do. So I'm gonna take, you're gonna use this snowflake paper as your background. And since I hadn't told you to do zip strips yet, I'll take the zip strip off this. Like that. And set that aside. And then you're gonna take this piece here, grab your stamp, and we're gonna need the words, you're like a snowflake, unique and one of a kind. Oh, and see already I forgot my block, so hold on. So, you're a snowflake, you're like a snowflake. And you can do these separately or put them all on the block at once. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do it separately. And to line up my stamp, because when you get some of these skinnier stamps, sometimes they like to bend, which is this one is doing a little bit. So I'm going to kind of put it on my Versamat, line it up. You see it's very stubborn. And then there's a line on your block, and you can kind of line it up by that. So I'm gonna do that first, push down on it, and I'm gonna go back and line it up even more because this one was kind of curved. And I don't want it to be curved when I'm using this. Yes, my block is a little bit messy. Alcohol wipes, that's all you need for that. So let me season this. Grab my ink. And you're gonna be using black on this. And the little spongy from your stamp set. Unless you want to turn your Versamat over, which will work just the same way. Let's get that inked up. And you're gonna put this towards the top. I'm gonna be careful without trying to get my head in. I might have to stand up for this one because I want to get this nice and straight. Right at the top. Hold it down for a second to let it sink in and pull up. All right, get that washed. I'm not washing right now just to save time for you guys. And grab your other one. Unique and one of a kind. So I'm just gonna go ahead and season that before I even stick it on the block. Sometimes that's a little bit easier. And then I'm gonna line it up here where I want it. Just about there, and then put my block on it. Get it inked. Sorry for the wiggling. And right under the other sentiment. Unique and one of a kind, aren't we all? Okay. Now we're gonna do just a tiny bit of dovetailing. You could have done that first too. I almost always do it afterwards. And we're gonna dovetail on the left-hand side here. So since I didn't leave a ton of room, I will just dovetail in just about 1/4 of an inch there, maybe just a little bit less, and then just go from the sides. So if you haven't stamped this yet, go ahead and move your stamped image a little bit to the right, but I did just fine for that, so no big deal. And then we're gonna attach it to this. Sorry, it's morning. It is 9 o'clock. I just haven't gotten my voice yet, I guess, today. Plus, been sick. Oh my gosh, I had COVID. And then about a week or so after COVID, this one is gonna go off slightly to the side because I cut this looks a little long. If yours isn't long, I don't know if I cut it wrong or something. I'm just gonna take it off to the side because mine's a little long. Right after I got COVID, then I got this like stomach flu right around Christmas time. So, ugh. My body's taking a beating. And the COVID was extremely, extremely mild. It was not even a bad cold. I had a cough and and I had a runny nose, and that was it. That was pretty much it. I could feel that I was a little bit sick, but I didn't feel bad, you know. So hopefully that's all reducing down quite a bit for us. All right, there we go. So just set that aside. Let's go back to our original page. Now, in the directions, Jennifer loves black ink. She, when she does her layouts, she inks everything, usually in black. For these colors, that is not my choice. I think that will be a little distracting. I think it's gonna be a little dark for these kind of bright colors. So I'm not going to do it. But if you want to, go ahead, pause this video and ink all of the parts in black, okay? But I'm not going to. I think that's gonna be way too dark for this. All right, so if you're back, we're gonna start with this and then get your big sapphire piece. Now, not being a person for measurements, Jennifer does not like to do the measuring. She does a lot of stuff in the center though, so that helps. So this is gonna be in the center, so I will measure for you. Also, she has indicated dark side, which is what my choice usually is anyway. It almost always is her choice. She likes the dark side of the papers. So let's just figure out about where this is gonna be. I'm thinking it's probably about 1 inch in on each side, if I'm right. Yeah, I think that's gonna be about 1 inch in. And hold on a minute, because I am making these with you, so I have not made them yet. So just hold on 1 second. Let me make sure that's gonna look good before you stick yours down. But I'm pretty sure that's what it's gotta be. So 1 inch in from both sides. It's gonna be just a little bit less. It looks more like 7/8 of an inch on each side. So that's probably gonna be what it is at the bottom too. So I'm gonna move this down to 7/8. See, aren't you glad you waited? All right, and try that instead. I think that's going to work a little better and be the most centered. So get that down, and then it'll get a little bit easier here. The next piece is the, what she calls the word pattern paper, the word pattern paper. Remember, you could always turn it to the other if you want a different color than we're choosing, you know, because all of our papers have different color on the back. If you like the lighter cardstock colors, go ahead and do that side instead of the dark. All right centered in the middle of that one. Looks like about 1/8 of an inch. And then it says adhere the stripe pattern paper to the center of the word pattern paper, to the center. So I'm gonna kind of center it, and then I'm just gonna measure for you guys. Let's see, it's probably gonna be, it looks like 2 1/4 there and 2 1/8 there. So I'm gonna say anywhere between 2 1/4 and 2 1/8 from the bottom would be fine. And I'm talking the bottom of the word paper, okay? So I'm just gonna put it at 2 1/8 from the bottom of the word paper. It'll make it just slightly off center, but that will not be noticeable at all. And put that down. And look at the cute paper on the back. Whew. You could have used that too. So stick that down. And then we've already done our dovetailing of our little white daisy cardstock piece. And now it says add adhesive to the middle of the green apple cardstock photo mat. Okay. She wants you to just put adhesive on the center. I'm gonna do adhesive, this is the dark side. So I'm gonna do adhesive down the center and then down the left-hand side too, because there's nothing tucking on the left-hand side. And then let's see where she's got that. Does she have that tilted? I guess that's straight up and down there. So I'm gonna measure and give you an estimate about where I think she put it, since she doesn't have a measurement there. So I'm gonna say she's probably around 1 inch up. Yeah, so 1 inch up from the word pattern paper. And then let's call it maybe 1.5 inches from the left-hand side, maybe a little more, maybe 2 inches from the left-hand side of that pattern paper. Now remember, your non-sticky side is going to be on the left here. Stick that down, and then we're going to be doing some tucking underneath that. And then if you've forgotten, remember, if you've forgotten to not put adhesive on that side, you can always trim your pieces to just fit right flush with it, okay? But we will be able to tuck today since we kind of done the adhesive correctly. So just says to tuck the dovetail pieces. We'll do that in a minute. And then for the Lagoon cardstock piece, that's this one right here. We're gonna do put that on the right hand side and just slightly overlapping the green mat, and I'm looking at about 1/2 inch up from the bottom, but tipped, okay? And then don't put adhesive right on the top here, just put it down below, because there's going to be tucking of a little tag at the top of that one. You can always add the adhesive back later, and I actually, yeah, I think I'll be good. I'm not really overlapping it that much, so I don't think that's going to affect the photo. And then about 1/2 inch from the bottom, and just tip, but don't let it go off into the blue, into that sapphire color, okay? Now we can go ahead and put the mats on. I didn't have any 2x2 photo mats, so I just made my own, or photo placeholders, I should say. So I'm gonna put these on about 1/8 of an inch from the sides. And we're gonna work our way up. The second one will be a photo placeholder or your photo. And again, about 1/8 of an inch or so. Now, next one will be this peach color. Either side that you like. Let me see if she said dark side, I think. Yeah, all of hers are dark side on this. And I'm gonna lift that, put it right about 1/8 of an inch. And then one more photo placeholder or your photo is gonna go there. Hey, it matches pretty good. So you guys, I like you, I have way too many supplies. And since I can't control myself and I still have to keep buying things and stuff, I really am making efforts to use my stuff. We talked about this last year too. But I kind of want to do a little series maybe in December or somewhere around then to help you with some techniques on using up your stash. So we're going to be working on that. I've already got some ideas written down, so I'm very excited about that. Let's do the tags next. So we've got the dark side of these 3 pieces that you pre-cut. We're going to dovetail them. Now this one is going to go sideways because that's going to take up more space. So turn it sideways to do your dovetailing. There are so many aspects to the reasons that we're not using our stash, right? And the number one is time. So we would definitely be talking about time. And then I've got lots of other ideas too about, you know, maybe some challenges, some little talks that hopefully will motivate you, and who knows what else. All right, we're gonna do this about at 1/8 of an inch or so. Now you can tuck it. I've got room here, so I am actually this one's gonna go right flush with that green, but you can also tuck these. Some of these I think we're gonna have to tuck a little bit. So, so about 1/4 inch down from the top of that paper. And let's do this. I know there's a lot of time sucks that really get in the way of what we really wanna do in life, and we know that's what they're doing, and we are hooked on things like Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff, and Pinterest. And so I think we're going to talk about that a little bit and see what we can get away with where we're not doing that so much. All right, the glacier piece I'm going to tuck a little bit, And it's gonna go again about 1/4 inch down from the peach piece. So I'm gonna try to get these fairly straight here. I don't feel like mine are straight. Okay, not too bad, okay. So I tuck that under a little bit, and then this last one, the lagoon, is gonna go up at the top. Boy, they make their lagoon look a lot longer than this one. I wonder if she changed a little bit after she finished it. Change the measurements. So dovetail that. And this one is gonna go up, overlapping the peach piece at the top, about 1/16 of an inch down. And you can tuck it, or you can just put it up flush with that. And then let's grab that sticker sheet. So one thing that's up here is they want you to use this. Now, there's no point in tucking this whole piece under. That's just silly. So, because that's a waste of a journaling block too. So I'm going to actually cut along the line here. You can still tuck if you want to, but no need to waste that journaling block. Save that for something else. And then poke out the little hole on the sticker. And then that goes here. So tuck it or just put it flush with there. And then we've got some other ones. Get that out of the way. So we've got the next one down is this stripe here. And that's gonna overlap the lagoon. I'm gonna tuck it just a touch. The lagoon and the peach. Like that. And then there's a pink polka dot over here. Peachy pink. And that's gonna go right above the glacier one, overlapping onto the peach. And then this one, the little, what do you call them, dashes, and tuck that a little bit underneath, and that'll be about 1/4 of an inch down from the one we just placed. Try to keep them fairly straight. And the last one is the gingham, and that can go right down. And I put these a little higher probably than she did, so I'm just gonna overlap it slightly and leave it, there'll be a little bit more space there than you see on the paper, like that. Okay, I think that's good on that. Let's get the things that need to dry. I kind of want to do last, so let's put everything else on that we can. Looks like the words we're gonna have to do, I'm gonna show you how we're gonna do the words a little differently. If you've watched the prep video, you saw the difficulties I had with backing the words with white paper, which is what she did. So she glued them and then cut them around. Well, it was just nearly impossible. So I've got another couple of alternatives to you that I didn't tell you about. And I guess we could put this piece on. So here is the word that was supposed to be backed and then cut out. So another alternative to this is to just cut a rectangle. Because the problem is when you put this down like this, it doesn't show up, right? So if we cut a rectangle, and I believe, I better tell you for sure, but I think it was 1 1/4 by 4 1/4. Yep, 1 1/4 by 4 1/4 is what I did. And I could just tip this up here slightly or do it straight. This is a place where a little bit of distressing wouldn't be bad, but I would probably use sapphire instead. And I think I'm going to just glue that on there. Another option, if you don't like that option, would be to take your piece, mine broke, obviously. Take your piece, use White Daisy ink. This is a pigment ink, and tap it all over it. Pour some white embossing powder on it and heat emboss it. And that would make this all shiny white instead, and that'll pop out. I can't do that because I do not have my little heat embosser with me, because that's up in Michigan. So that's another alternative if you don't want to do some of the other alternatives that I said in the prep video or this one. But I'm going to go ahead, and I actually think I will just ink this slightly in some sapphire. Let me see if I have sapphire out here. I do. Beautiful. So I'm gonna grab a sponge real quick, or a foam tool. And you know our foam tools come with different sponges. So just switch to the color you need. And I just keep mine on a little baggie there, but other people are really professional and like, they label each one and have a nice compartment, but I don't. So a baggie works for me. I'm gonna put just the slightest bit of this sapphire on here instead of black. There's no black in this page except for the little sentiment you stamped, you know, so I just don't see the point in blackening the whole page like she does. So let's get this on. I'm gonna have to be careful because my words were broken. This one I did break myself. That didn't come broken in the package, which sometimes they do. Remember, you can get those replaced if you ever have broken ones. Let's see if this is flowing okay. I think I may need a little poker here. It's been a while since I used this. There we go, okay. So I'm gonna gently put some of this glue on. Remember, when you're doing this, you do not want to get too much or it's gonna all squeeze out and you'll see it on your paper. So I might even smooth this out a little bit with my finger just so I don't get any globs. I'm trying to be careful and go light. Because you don't want it to, it's shiny, you know, when it dries, so it'll show on your cardstock. So be sparing. I'm just gonna kind of smooth that out a little bit so it doesn't gush out. And then put it over here. I've got little pieces too, so don't forget your little pieces. The inside of the R. Ooh, now it's gushing. All over my fingers. And remember, one side is shining, one side is dull. So you might want to watch for that as you're putting this down. I still got some gushing, but at least it's not as much as I might have had. And then I have one other little piece, and I hope it didn't fly away when I've been working here. That was the inside of the E. I'm not seeing it. So, oh, there we go. And I'm going to use the dull side up. Just put a little drop there. Stuff still comes out fast. All right, and moving into place with my piercing tool. This is a well-used piercing tool, check that out. It's been bent. And then the W. Light coat. And hopefully I left some space for it. Try to match that up. Yeah, I rarely get mine replaced when they come broken because I just figure I can glue them back together like this. And you really can't tell too much. So I'm gonna let that dry. While that's happening, I'm gonna put the photo placeholder down. Big photo. If you don't have 5x7 photos, then just put a 4x6 here instead. No big deal. You can always add in another mat if you want to. What else would fit? 2 3x4s, right? Don't think that you are married to that size. Choose the size you want. Put a little more glue here. All right. So along with you know, hints and tips for getting things done, I want to actually work along with you, and so I'm gonna try to do more artwork this year. I should have a little more time because I have less retreats this year, and I gave up the Mega Meet. So More time for my online friends. All of you. All right, let's get that down. I still want to let that dry for another minute, so I guess I can go ahead. I'm trying to think. Let's get our little sentiment down. Now there's not much room for this, so this is really supposed to go over a photo, right? So if you do not have a photo and you don't, then we're gonna just do a little glue over here. I'm just gonna put a touch, and then I'm gonna tuck it under here a little bit if I can. Just a touch. And let that kind of hold it down, because this is supposed to go over a photo. You can always, if you don't have your photos yet, another option is to just set this in your page protector until you get your photos, and then you pop it on up over that, okay? Next, you're gonna need some sprigs of holly. There we go. So one that turns left and one that turns right. Like that. So they're the opposite. And these are gonna go down here. Now I'm gonna be careful because I don't want them to touch any of my photos. So I'm gonna kind of work them around my photos. So this one's gonna go just a little bit tucked under my photo mat there, my photo placeholder. This one over here will go onto the word paper. And they're about 1 inch apart. And then the snowman's gonna go in the middle, and we might as well pop him up, which will keep him off the photos and also really show him off. So his hat kind of goes right over into the, sorry, losing my voice again, up into the words there. So let me get some, I'm only gonna put my pop tape right here so that it's not touching the photo. Anyway, so yes, because I am doing less this year in person, I should have more time to do virtual stuff, which is what I love. I don't like making videos, but I do like doing the art. So the technical part, not my favorite, but showing you guys how to do this is my favorite. I wish somebody was just here doing the videoing for me, then that would make it so much easier. Okay, there's that one. How cute is this? And then a deer, and this is a deer with a gray scarf, and he is also gonna kind of be touching, he'll be over just a touch, be touching the sentiment, and I'm gonna put it here on his body and not on his head. So get the pop tape there. And the other thing, I gotta say, one nice thing about living down here in Chicago is I don't have quite as many distractions, except the decorating of the house. That was the only thing that really distracted me. But, you know, I don't have a lot of visitors down here because we don't really have friends down here yet. And you know, just don't have people knocking on my door, you know, so it's just a little bit easier also. Plus, you know, how people go into minimalism, right? They don't have a lot of things and stuff. Well, in an apartment, you're kind of forced into that lifestyle. And so because I don't have a lot of things here, I don't have a lot of distractions. And cleaning the house is faster and easier. So all of this adds up to more time that I can do this, which I love. So hoping things go really well here in 2023, and you'll be seeing a lot of me doing this stuff. All right, so next is 2 more of those little bows of holly or whatever they are. And these ones will go to the left of this snowman. So I'm gonna pop him up first. His arm kind of goes behind the deer and he's tilted a little bit. So I'm gonna put the majority of the tape right there on the bottom snowball of his body. And the rest will kind of hang. Now remember that once you get your photos on, if you don't do photos immediately, you can always tack these down more onto actual photos, you know, so you don't have to leave them kind of halfway up, halfway off the page. So if I had my photo down here, I could tack this whole thing down to the photo. All right, now I'm gonna slide these down under him. And then by that time, I think our winter will be ready to glue down. All right. And we do have a couple of little doodads to put down here. So let me show you the sizes. I've got 2 little blue snowflakes and 1 medium. So we're gonna start with the big one, and I'm gonna use this glue that I've been using, which is, I can't remember the name of it, but it is the glue that we sell. I don't use it too often, but it really is pretty good glue, I gotta say. And then I'm gonna put a little one down here. Ooh, flying all over. And then this other one goes right below. Oh, no, wait, does it go there? Let me check. No, this is a sticker instead. So I hope I marked that right on your sticker sheet. Let me grab that sticker sheet real quick. And that is a little sticker that's a blue snowflake. Where, oh where? Is that it? No, it's not a white one. It's hiding. I'm looking for the number 1, so hopefully I noticed it before, because this is layout 1. And I am not seeing a little blue snowflake, but I'm pretty sure that looks like it. It's not, I don't know, maybe it is the, all right. I'm gonna just make a judgment here and say that that is that other little piece. So let's go back to that and go ahead and go with that, because it could be. It's really hard to tell on that very, very tiny little directions. All right, so that's gonna go there. If you see a blue snowflake instead, that's a sticker, you can go ahead and use that instead. All right, so that part's done. Let's go up and glue down our winter word. And we'll do Wonderland first, I think, just so that we're positioning it well. See how that white really stands out. Again, try to be gentle on your glue. Just a light coat. Little dots. Doesn't take much. And we don't want it to squish. So, all right, that's gonna go right on top of this mat. So just line that up there. Hold it down for a second and let's get our winter one. I think I'm gonna use regular adhesive on this. Again, other options if you don't like this look with the white paper. There are other options. So go back to the prep steps and see the options that I gave you there. Or you can go ahead and cut through all of that if you want to, or do the white ink. So lots of different options there. All right, now let's look at our little snowflakes. I have a snowflake that's broken and I couldn't find the second piece. So I may do something a little bit different with that. So the big snowflake right here is gonna go to the left of winter. Don't let me forget that little pink heart. I see a little pink heart there. So I'm gonna put a little dot here and then one on each edge of the snowflakes. I don't even know what you would call those, but the edges of the snowflake there. So that's gonna go there. Then another one's gonna go, I'm gonna again try to keep the dull side up, so I'm putting the glue on the shiny side. And this one's gonna go a little to the left of that. All right, so here's where I'm gonna, because I've got a defective here. When I put this one down, I'm going to punch it up right against the mat so that it looks like it's maybe tucked under, you know, and it won't be noticeable that it's broken. Because I couldn't find the other piece to it. So I'm just gonna push it right up against the mat as if it's supposed to be there. And then the last one goes up here. Hold that for a second. Putting the glue on the shiny side. And this one goes over here. All right. And the little pink heart, that's out of, let me see, is that the one that's out of this? I think it's this one right here. It's in the middle of a tag. So you're gonna have to pull that out. Ooh, there we go. And that goes right next to the W. I'm gonna tuck it there. And push it down a little bit. See if there's anything else. Don't wanna miss anything. Yep, we gotta do this piece over here. But at the top, I think we're good. The bottom, we're good. So just this last bit. So this big piece here is going right here on this mat. And I'm gonna put the glue on the shiny side. If you like the shiny side up, just do the opposite of what I'm doing here. And that's just gonna go here. Kind of fit it in the center. And then in the middle of that is the little word love. Right here, and I see she darkened it, but I'm not going to. And then right next to it is a little blue heart, and I'm going to guess that it's probably this one coming out of that tag. And just overlap that. All right, looks good. Let me bring it up a little closer for you. Sorry, the lighting is terrible. I have, believe me or not, I have 3 lights on this paper. And it's still, I'll try that a little brighter, see if that helps. Still not enough light in this room, okay? So there we go. All right, that only took 36 minutes. Thanks, guys.